U.S. Judge James Boasberg saying Friday that the president's use of the Alien Enemies Act is troublesome, problematic, and concerning. But the administration arguing it's more troublesome to have suspected foreign gang members here in the U.S. So how do we handle them? Former FBI special agent and Fox News contributor Nicole Parker is with us this morning. Nicole, thank you so much for being here. We had 68 Tren de Aragua gang members arrested in the last 48 hours, according to ICE. You have those some 250 alleged gang members that were put on those deportation flights. You come from a law enforcement background. How would you handle these folks? And do you think that the administration is handling this the right way?
Well, first of all, President Trump ran and campaigned on making America safe again, and he is trying to deliver on his promise. And I think the vast majority of Americans would agree that we deserve to be safe, we need to be safe, and you do whatever you have to do to make us safe again. Tren de Aragua is a designated foreign terrorist organization group. I mean, that is extremely serious. They have caused major havoc in our country: rapes, murders, assaults. We have Rachel Morin, Jocelyn Nungary, Laken Riley, multiple victims, countless victims of this violent gang. And it blows my mind that there is a U.S. District Court judge out of Washington, D.C. that is doing everything he can to resist the removal of these individuals from our country. And again, the judge came forward and said, look, maybe I'll allow the deportations to continue for those that self-identify as being a member of the gang. Do you think that individuals are really going to raise their hand and say, yes, I am a member of Tren de Aragua, please? I just find that a little mind-boggling. I'm not sure that that's going to happen. But I do think that Americans deserve to be safe, and that whatever efforts need to be taken, they should be taken. But I as a former FBI agent, I don't like seeing people get hurt. I do not want this to continue. And the fact that they were ever allowed here in the first place, millions of people crossed that border illegally. They were here illegally in the first place by crossing the border, and it is time for us to uphold the law and to send them back.
We've had some reports already of individuals who were sent a part of those deportation flights. I think it's in the single digits, but some individuals that claim that they aren't members of TDA, that they were targeted just specifically because of their tattoos and sent on these flights. How do you square the threat of TDA and also people's rights here, that potentially being sent to a tough terrorist jail in El Salvador that may not belong there?
Right. That is a very tough situation, and I do think that they need to be looked at very closely. I do think that there needs to be vetting. But again, the fact that they had come across the border illegally into our country in the first place, they had no problem breaking the law then. And so, again, I believe that keeping Americans safe should always come first. And I believe that the Trump administration is doing everything that they can. Brian, I think it's a mighty effort, and it will virtually be impossible to find all of those that came into our country illegally and deport them. But I do appreciate the aggressive efforts that they are taking. Again, as a former FBI agent who worked violent crime in the Southern District of Florida, in Miami, safety always needs to come first for the American people.
Right. Sorry. Nicole, I want to talk to you about the attacks we've seen on Tesla cars and dealerships. President Trump doubling down on his pledge to punish these vandals. Attorney General Pam Bondi is calling it domestic terrorism. What do you say? And as an FBI agent, former FBI agent, what's going on right now in terms of the investigatory steps that are being taken to see if these attacks are coordinated?
Right. So first of all, it's been determined that these attacks have affected 9 different states. Tesla vehicles, dealerships, showrooms, et cetera, have been, as of right now, according to the FBI, have transpired in 9 different states. That's 9 too many states, Brian. It's unacceptable. This is not America. If you want to peacefully protest and you don't agree with what someone is doing, that is fine. But the moment that it transfers into violence, that is not okay. The FBI is strongly recommending that you stay vigilant. If you're in the vicinity of a dealership, a showroom, a charging station, or you have heard of individuals that have been involved in this or the planning of these types of activities, it is strongly, recommended that you contact 1-800-CALL-FBI. And if you're in immediate danger or an immediate threat, you do need to call 911 immediately. But again, this should not be happening in this country. People want America to be safe. And Elon Musk is doing what he has been asked to do. He is going in, he is exposing fraud, waste, corruption, and abuse in the federal government. And now there is backlash against not just him, but those who even purchase his vehicles. And that is un-American. And I appreciate that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, and FBI Director Kash Patel are getting in there and saying, no, this will not be tolerated. And they are setting a very strong precedent before this continues to get out of control. Because if you are deemed as a domestic terrorist, you can expect the strongest hammer of the law to drop down on you. It is going to be looked at. Prosecutors will look at your intent and your motive and the different charges. And if it is deemed as domestic terrorism, you can expect the full force of the federal law against you.
Yeah, no doubt about they're going to be looking at whether or not these are coordinated, what the motivation is, whether or not there are groups. Obviously, motivation plays to the types of charges that these folks could end up facing. You already have the AG Pam Bondi promising severe consequences, but motivation is a big part of this. Domestic terrorism isn't a specific charge, but it is something that could elevate the charges these folks could face. And you got to believe that this is a priority for this DOJ. Nicole Parker, thank you as always. Good to see you. I appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.